know Bhaja Hu Re Mana? Want to sing that? Hare Krishna. What page? Bhaja Hu Re Mana. Bhaja Hu Re Mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charana Davindare Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charana Davindare Bhaja Hu Re Mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charana Davindare Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charana Davindare Dulapamana Bhajanam Shachange Dulapamana Bhajanam Shachange Tado He Baba Sindure Bhaja Hu Re Mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charana Davindare Bhaja Hu Re Mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charana Davindare Sita Sita Tapa Bhaja Parishana Edina Jamini Jagire Sita Tapa Bhaja Parishana Edina Jamini Jagire Vibala Sebinu Kripana Durjana Vibala Sebinu Kripana Durjana Chapala Shukala Balagide Bhaja Hu Re Mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charana Davindare Bhaja Hu Re Mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charana Davindare Edana Jovana Putra Parijana Iteke Ache Paratitide Edana Yogana Putra Parijana Iteke Ache Paratitide Edana Jovana Putra Parijana Iteke Ache Paratitide Edana Yogana Putra Parijana Iteke Ache Paratitide Kamala Dala Jala Jivana Dala Mala Kamala Dala Jala Jivana Kamala Kamala Dala Jala Jivana Dala Mala Shravana Kirtana Smarana Bandana Pada Sevana Dasare 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 Pujana Shakti Jana Atmani Vedana 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 Govinda Dasha Obilasha Re Govinda Dasha Obilasha Bhaja Hu Re Mana Sri Nandanandana Abhaya Jadananda Bindare Bhaja Hu Re Mana Sri Nandanandana Abhaya Jadananda Bindare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Sriman Mahaprabhu was here performing the pastimes as a scholar in Navadip. Then along came Srila Ishwara Puri. Srila Ishwara Puri Prabhupada was one Vaishnava sannyasi who was wondering. It's described that the fire of love of Godhead burning in his heart was so strong that he could never remain any place for a very long time. He was constantly wandering, being driven by the fire of love of Godhead in his heart, distributing love of Godhead. So Mahaprabhu served Ishwara Puri here in Navadip Dham and associated with him, and then around about this time Mahaprabhu's father Jagannath Misra left the world. We'll hear about that in more detail tomorrow. We'll go to Advaita Bhavan tomorrow. We'll hear about Vishwarup Sannyas. And then Jagannath Misra, he took Mahaprabhu away from school, afraid that he would also become a sannyasi. And then he left the world. So Mahaprabhu, as is the custom, he went to Gaya Dham, Bihar, and to perform the Shraddha ceremony for Jagannath Misra at the lotus feet of Vishnu. And in Gaya Dham, he again met Srila Ishwara Puri Prabhupada. In fact, it describes that Mahaprabhu, this is his first manifestation of Prema Bhakti when he went to Gaya Dham. And it describes that even entering into Gaya Dham, he became overwhelmed with feelings of love for Krishna. And what to speak of when he saw the lotus feet of Vishnu there in the temple in Bodh Gaya. Then he displayed for the first time ecstatic symptoms of prema just by seeing the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu there in Gaya Dham. So, as destiny has it, at that time Ishwara Puri was in Gaya, and Mahaprabhu, after he associated with Ishwara Puri, then after a few days he requested and received Vaishnava Diksha from Srila Ishwara Puri Prabhupada. So Sriman Mahaprabhu's Diksha Guru is Srila Ishwara Puri. He was one Vaishnava. He was disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So then after coming back, in fact even at that time in Gaya, then at that time he had changed in his whole heart, and he becoming overwhelmed with these feelings of love for Krishna. And even from Gaya Dham, Mahaprabhu immediately one night he got up and he just began wandering off to Vrindavan and looking for Krishna, because of the feeling in his heart of separation from Krishna, intolerable. So he began just wandering off. Where is Krishna? Gopal, where is Krishna? Vrindavan. And then there was one Akashvani, voice from the sky. Don't go to Vrindavan now. The voice said, now is not the time to go to Vrindavan. The voice said, actually, Mahaprabhu said, huh? As the voice said, actually you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mahaprabhu said, and you have a mission to establish the Sankirtan movement. So you have to go back to Mayapur, and there you have to establish the Sankirtan movement, and then later you'll take sannyas, and then later, it was actually quite some time later, Mahaprabhu tried to go to Vrindavan after taking sannyas, but he only got as far as Shantipur. And the love of the devotees in Mayapur was too strong. They were all there. They tricked him. Nityananda Prabhu tricked Mahaprabhu. He told the cowherd boys were playing in the fields. He said, when the sannyasi who's drunken with love of Godhead comes wandering past here and asks you, where is Vrindavan? Then you point toward this direction, to the Ganga. So Mahaprabhu, in love of Godhead and drunken with prema, he sees the boys. He sees the boys are chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Mahaprabhu is very happy. He says, where is Vrindavan? They point in the direction of the Ganga. So Mahaprabhu goes to the Ganga, jumps in, and he's floating down, thinking in Jamuna. He floats down from here to Shantipur. Advaita Acharya, whose house is in Shantipur, tomorrow he has two houses. One just over here. Tomorrow we will go there. One in Shantipur. He's waiting on the bank of the Ganga with a dry kopin and a dry sannyasi cloth to give to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu come floating down the Ganga, he sees Advaita Acharya. He says, "Oh, Advaita Gosai, you have also come to Vrindavan." And the famous words of Advaita Thakur that wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. And he said, "What? This is not Vrindavan? Nityananda Prabhu has tricked me." And in this way he was captured in Shantipur, and all the devotees, Mahaprabhu took sannyas just suddenly. That's a whole other wonderful story. Maybe we'll hear that when we're in Murari Gupta's place. We talk about Mahaprabhu's sannyas. All the devotees, he just left one night. We'll hear that story later. So then all the devotees from Mayapur went to Shantipur, Sachimata, Mukunda, Datta, Murari Gupta, Srivas Thakur and his brothers, everybody, all the devotees from Mayapur went, and for 12 days Mahaprabhu remained there. So after that, even though he was planning to go to Vrindavan, specifically because of the request of Sachimata, she said, "How can I tolerate you leaving me, going to Vrindavan?" Everybody went to Shantipur except one person. Who was that? Vishnupriya. Everybody went to Shantipur except Vishnupriya. Talk about that later. So Sachimata said, "How can I carry on? You far away, Vrindavan a long way from Mayapur. How can I carry on? Better you go to Jagannath Puri. Krishna is also there in Jagannath Puri. Lord Jagannath, you go there." And in that way, because Puri and Bengal, Puri and Mayapur are close, like she said, like two rooms in the house. And the Gaudiyas and the Odiyas, they're very close. Language is also very similar. And there's a lot of interaction. So she said, "I will hear about you from the devotees coming from Puri. That way I'll be able to sustain myself." So from that time on, Mahaprabhu went to Puri every year for 4 months. All the devotees from Mayapur went to Puri, headed by Advaita Acharya. Shivananda Sen arranged everything. They went to Puri at the time of Rath Yatra and associated with Mahaprabhu for 4 months every year. So Mahaprabhu, even at that time, he wanted to go to Vrindavan, and then the Akashvani, the voice from the sky, said, "No, you have to come back to Mayapur and start the Sankirtan movement." And so Mahaprabhu's Mayapur pastimes is with Panchatattva. We're worshipping Panchatattva. This is Mayapur, Panchatattva. Why Mayapur? Why Panchatattva in Mayapur? The Panchatattva in Mayapur, Advaita Acharya is in Mayapur. When the Panchatattva are together, that is Mayapur. And then after Mahaprabhu, he leaves. And the devotees from Mayapur, they visit Puri, but in Mayapur the Panchatattva are together. So, in order to establish the Tattva, the Panchatattva, and the mission of the Panchatattva, Jari Deka Tarikaha Krishna Upadesh Amaragya Guru Hoy Tare Desh, Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission, he began it here. He preached. He began the preaching. He ordered Nityananda and Haridas Thakur. In fact, Nityananda Prabhu wasn't preaching. Nityananda Prabhu we sang the song, Brajendra Nandana Jai Shachi Shuta Hoilo She Balaram Hoilo Nidai. Nityananda Prabhu was Lord Balaram. But he wasn't preaching Krishna consciousness. He was waiting for the order of Mahaprabhu. He was there. He travelled from Ekachakradam. He left. He was 12 years old. And then the sannyasi took him on all the tour of all the holy places. And then he remained in Vrindavan for quite some time. You'll see many pastime places of Nityananda Prabhu in Vrindavan. He was there. And then he heard that Mahaprabhu had began the Sankirtan movement. He began in Srivas Thakur's house. He began the Sankirtan movement. So Nityananda Prabhu came from Vrindavan. And then he joined the Sankirtan movement. And one day, but still he wasn't preaching. And one day, Mahaprabhu, he said to Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, "Shunu Shunu Nityananda, Shunu Haridas Savatra, Amaragyai Koro Prakash." Sunu, listen, Nityananda and Haridas. Savatra Amaragyai, in all places, my order, Koro Prakash. You go and publish, you reveal, you establish my order in all places. Proti gore gore giye koro e bika Bhaja Krishna bolo Krishna koro Krishna shikha. You go to every room, every house, and you beg the people, Koro Epika, beg the people, Bhaja Krishna, worship Krishna, Bolo Krishna, chant Hare Krishna, Koro Krishna Shika, and follow the instructions of Krishna. That is the beginning of the preaching mission. Before that, there was no preaching. Mahaprabhu was relishing here in Srivas Angan. At night time, he was relishing. At that time, he began preaching, because this is his mission, so that Akashvani, don't go to Vrindavan now. Who's going to start the preaching mission? Who's going to give the order to Nityananda Prabhu? Who's going to empower Haridas? Who's going to begin? And these are the main two trunks of the tree. Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. From their preaching, all of the preachers are connected. And you can read the tree. So he had to begin this preaching movement. So he came back to Mayapur. But having come back to Mayapur, he was a changed person. And the devotees, they were picking flowers. All the devotees, they were doing puja every day. And they were there at the house of Nrsingananda Brahmachari. There was one kunda tree. Now you'll see the kunda tree. I don't see the kunda tree. I have kunda tree in my place. Now it's full of flowers this time of year, kunda. It's a big flower, it's white. About that big kunda and very fragrant. So this kunda tree in the house of Nrsingananda Brahmachari or Nakula Brahmachari, it would give flowers all year round. All year round. So all the devotees would go to that tree to collect flowers. And then the devotees say, Did you hear the news? Did you hear the news? What? Nimai has become a devotee. Nimai Pandit has become a devotee. All the time, the devotees, they used to say, we're suffering so much here. All of the Pandits, all of the scholars in Navadip, they all criticize us. If Nimai were to become a devotee, he's so glorious. He would smash all of the Prashandis and smash all of the Advaitavadis and the Mayavadis and the scholars. If Nimai were to become a devotee, he's so charismatic, he's so attractive. If he were to become a devotee. So I'm saying, did you hear Nimai has become a devotee? He's changed. He's in love of God. He's become mad for Krishna. They were saying, so Sachimata is describing. At first, Nimai was serving, he began to serve, that proud scholar would stride down the road, arrogant, and challenge all the Mishras, all the Bhattacharyas. That proud scholar became the servant of the Vaishnavas, and he was serving all of the Vaishnavas. It describes that. The Vaishnavas gave him he's serving the Vaishnavas. Mahaprabhu is saying to them, Toma Shai Para Krishna Bhajan Dibe Daser Sevile Krishna Anugraha Kore. That devotees are able to bless one with Krishna Bhakti. And Daser Sevile Krishna Anugraha Kore. When Krishna says someone become the servant of his devotees, then he benedicts that person, he blesses, he gives mercy to that person. Mahaprabhu was explaining all this to establish the importance of. He would grab the feet of the Vaishnavas, he would take their cloth, wash their cloth, wring it out, hang it on the line. He would bring the mati from the river for them to wash their and clean their puja things. He would carry some heavy things, and the Vaishnavas would protest, "Oh, Vishwambara, please, Vishwambara." And Nimai would serve them. And he said, Gaurasundar said, Krishna Bhaji Bari Char Ache Abhilas Se Bhajuka Krishna Mangal Priya Das. Whoever takes shelter of a devotee of Krishna, then Krishna becomes very kind to that person. Shabar Shikare Shabai Shikare Go Chandra Bhagavan Vaishnav Seva Prabhu Korea Apan. By his own example, Mahaprabhu is showing the importance of Vaishnav Seva.